Let's go.
Said it's your boy, P Original, Mr. Influential. Hot topic conversation, stimulate your mental. Two cool brothers, same father, same mother. If you're looking for a show like this, you'll never find another. Why? Cause it's the Porch Podcast, so come on. Yeah, said it's the Porch Podcast. Yup, said it's the Porch Podcast, so come on. Yeah, said it's the Porch Podcast.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Porch Podcast. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. It's your boy, DJ E, Mr. Influential, and I'm rocking with my brother, man.
P Original, baby. Y'all know how we say each and every week, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, sound like we said we running for office when we do that.
Yeah, man. Well, we might be, brother.
Yeah,
we might be, man. Stranger things have happened. You know what I mean? We some good brothers.
God is good.
God is great, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Let's just go ahead and clap it up for that.
Absolutely. I mean, you never know what we might be going. Like you said, bro, you're a big man in manifestation.
Yeah.
You know, so if we can't say it and claim it, then it can never be.
Right.
So, absolutely. But like you said, bro, we here again. Mm-hmm. Y'all know how we do each and every week. Before we check with y'all, we got to check with each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? E, how's your week been, bro?
Good. Busy.
I was getting ready to say, you know, it's cool that it's good, but it's
Monday.
Okay.
I left after we did this last Monday.
Right.
You know, at the time we recorded and just let y'all know. Then Tuesday.
Right.
I had the DJ at Preferred Care in Ewing.
Okay.
Okay. And it was, it's a special place because, of course,
shout out to Preferred Care.
Yeah, they hold the queen in there, so we know special place. But it was for Nurses Week.
Okay.
I keep forgetting that. I don't know if it's every week the same area like that, but it wasn't just Mother's Day. It was also Nurses Week.
Absolutely.
And they had a luncheon, so I provided the music for that. Wednesday, as we knew, bro, we was dealing with a lot of rain.
Oh my
So
God.
just being out in the elements, that moisture, that what I was
ready
doing
to invest in the boat, man.
I was doing some work outside, right?
Yeah.
Boots got wet, soul ripped off them bitches at the end. Like that was it. You know what I mean? And
that's dedication.
Yeah.
That's dedication. I mean, first time I would have seen like any of the glue seemed like it was trying to separate.
Yeah. You was done.
Yeah. Never had one of them joints where I worked outside all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Guys like yourself who've been working outside for a couple decades, man.
Yeah.
You know? You just go ahead and let the bottom rip off. You cool. You know, you just be like, I just gotta go ahead.
Remember that day that's funny. You came to work with me one day.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
You need to find out. That's all it took. I may have one.
And the funny thing about it,
I had the good spray.
The funny thing
I had the good spray.
He had the good dog
That's what's crazy. I had the good dog spray.
I got to tell the story.
Yeah.
So I said, P, you just
paint the pictures so they can know what happened.
I said, P, listen, you know what I mean? Because at the time, we was young, and sometimes people be chasing certain things, what jobs work for them. Mm-hmm. So he's like, bro, let me just see what you do. I might like what you do. You just wanted to see.
Absolutely.
I remember I said.
Absolutely.
Sure,
I don't know if it was my day off or I took off, but I was going.
You was day off.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Because at that time.
I wanted to know.
At that time, you was Tuesday, Wednesdays, I think.
Because honestly, man, at that time, probably early enough in the career.
Yeah. Make a lot
might have, had bust a move.
Yeah, made a lot of
okay, cool. But go ahead and tell them what happened.
So you came, and I said, listen, we'll see all types of shit out here. It's gonna take your heart. You know what I mean? Something that usually don't. Like, listen, America, are y'all usually scared of squirrels? Nah, y'all not usually scared of squirrels, right?
Socially accepted rats.
Yeah, exactly. But on the right route day, in the right bush, squirrel take your life. You know what I mean? Take your heart, bitch. You be like that. Whoa, what is going on?
It's definitely not Sandy Squirrel from
So
Bikini Bottom.
So I told him, I said, but listen, common animals, pets, dogs.
Yeah.
He take the spray.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is,
it's my good.
This the good one. I want you. It's my good one because I want you to be protected. I'm a legend. I got it. You know what I mean? I said, if he come,
he was cool.
I need you to be stand and go. Nigga start. We heard a chain.
Skipping.
That nigga start skipping.
Yeah.
Where he at, yo? Where he at?
Yeah.
Skipping away.
Yeah.
I'm like, he over here. You leave.
So I see what you're trying to do. You trying to tell a story. You was tough and I was the punk in the moment.
At that moment.
Okay. Yeah. I'll never admit to ever having a punk moment, but it's fine. I mean, I did skip, so you're not lying. not lying.
A
You know
grown
what I'm
man,
saying?
whatever. What do you see a grown man skip? Well, he about to
Should've
get
been
away
out
from
there.
something. Skip has always been the beginning of a run.
Oh, no question.
You know
Oh,
what
no
I mean?
question. Cedric Entertainer been told us that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Get Lisa now.
Yeah. Get Lisa. Get Lisa.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, I got a lot of respect for that. But
Yeah.
that happened. So what else? What else
Wednesday,
happened?
that
in the
right?
week?
It
Yeah, that's right.
It was raining Wednesday to Thursday.
Yeah, soles of the shoe came loose.
Came loose, but it was all right. I ain't trip on it.
Yeah,
I just
thank
chilled.
God, because you could have tripped on it.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I mean? I went
Okay.
home chilling.
Right.
After I chilled, just watched TV. But then Thursday,
Right.
had to go. Shout out 1911 Smokehouses in Willenboro, right there, Route 130.
I'm familiar.
You know what I mean?
I'm familiar.
Clap it up for them.
Clap it up for them.
Not laugh. I clap it up for them.
That's how you feel.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So we went
Clap
out.
it up for them. Ha 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 ha.
So did that.
Yeah.
And Friday
Yeah.
was rocking out. We was doing a graduation party, but the graduate, was someone who did it later in life. So
Got you.
the
That's
party-
dope.
Yeah, so the party.
That's dope.
So that makes the party so much doper because
Absolutely.
you relate to the age group way better. And
Okay.
everybody, it just feels like a bigger deal
Yeah, it is.
because of when
It
the
is.
person
'Cause
did
you
that.
and you to touch on that later. It
Yeah.
absolutely is something
Right, it's
that
a
you
big
had said
deal,
before.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So that was Friday. Had a
Mhm.
good time with that. Saturday, I did a DJ the fundraiser. Shout out to Jersey Girls Be Outside. Let's go ahead and clap it up for them.
Jersey girls be outside.
Erica Randall. I know
E,
she's
what's
part
up,
of it.
E?
It's just women who like to hang out, have a good time, and
That's
find
what's up.
stuff to, so they had their first
That's what's
event,
up.
and I was honored to be the DJ there, and they enjoyed it. Did
Absolutely.
that was Saturday, and then Sunday a wedding. Now this what was dope. When I did the wedding yesterday, shout out to William H because I was with him Friday and Sunday. That's bro right there. It was at the Bradford where I got married at. So
Okay.
the room was always special.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. You went on in there.
yeah, we went in there, had a good
You
time.
know,
You know what I
It's
mean?
flashback.
Yeah.
When,
Oh, yeah, it
You
did.
know, one of the sweetest. Sounds like what you were trying to say. I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
Mhm.
kind of echoing your point. You know
Right.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic, man.
Yeah, so great. It was a great weekend. And then today, we back,
Absolutely.
So I've been busy, man.
Absolutely.
But I liked it.
Good.
I liked it. If I could, which I will, hustle out the one thing that I feel like I've outgrown,
Mm-hmm.
be great.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Good, man. Well, it's great, man. I'm glad you had a good weekend. Good week. I had a good one as well. A lot took place this week as far as like with my family. Pretty much most of the time that's what happens for me anyway. Friday, my youngest went to her first little, I say big girl dance, so to speak. You know what I mean? I'm quite sure she'll see this and be like, come on, Dad, big girl dance. But yeah, went to her first big girl dance.
Mm-hmm.
Looked great, you know what I'm
Yes, she
saying?
did.
Got good pictures, the memories and all that type of stuff. It was awesome. That was phenomenal. That was on Friday. Saturday, my oldest daughter, obviously, she graduated from college. So that was a wonderful thing.
Cheer for both of them.
I really, and I was telling E this before, I really thank God for the village, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, me and my wife, we do all that we can do as mom and dad. And when you got a village, man, that's all the time supportive and not sometimes supportive, it's a wonderful thing. You know what I mean? So I just want to acknowledge everybody who was able to be a part of, everything that took place on graduation day. You know what I mean? From everything, from being at the arena, it was right there at the Q Arena, all the way to, dinner that night, and it was great. And then also she celebrated her birthday. So, same week as her birthday, 3 days later, she graduated from college. So, you know what I mean? I'm just so, so thankful, proud of her, and just, ready to see what the next step of anything is going to be in her life. I'm quite sure she's going to do great. She got some more education that she may be pursuing, and however that change takes place for that, we're going to go ahead and claim that to be a victory and advancement. But I'm just glad to see that she's completed that. See, there's something I didn't do, And I think as a parent, man, when we see our children kind of hit marks that we didn't hit, you feel a little bit better as a parent. Like,
I was speaking on it today.
Glad they did it.
I was talking at work.
Yeah.
So one of the guys have been there Hey, listen, I put it to you like this. He started it after my 1 year old, my one birthday. So he been there that long. So
Yeah.
me having a conversation, and I'm telling him, so yeah, my niece graduated, man, from college this weekend, because my godson graduates tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I told him, I was like, man, I think the most impressive thing about the whole thing with her, she was on the dean's list the entire time.
Yeah.
All 4 years.
You know?
The
So
entire
it's
time.
great, man. It's great to see, like you said, it be something that they accomplish and they can be proud of because it took them to be able to get it done. So that was Saturday. Sunday, man, was kind of like a recharge, bro, because everything leading up to it, like I said, the birthday was early in the week. So really, we have been celebrating before the celebrations. And then Sunday, yesterday, it was just like, kick back and just try to reset for the next week that's coming up. How the holiday coming up, obviously, this weekend, the following Monday. So we got, what's that, Memorial? Got Memorial Day coming up. So quite sure this weekend will be busy. But that was a good thing, man. So proud of that. Proud of her, and great overall weekend altogether. So that's that. I don't have one, bro, but I'm thinking about a quote that you said, and I'm not going to say it's a quote from a sense of, like, some of the old quotes of the days that we used to do. And I'm going to try to say what you said, because I actually have it here in my notes, and I could pull it up from there. But I think I think that it's going to be better if I pull them from the notes. It's powerful. You okay?
Yeah, that's what I said. Pull them from
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because I have access.
You okay?
Yeah,
you all right, little buddy?
Yeah, you just like...
Yeah, buddy. You all right, little
sure
buddy?
You cool, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, little buddy. You remember that shit? You used to be like, hey, little buddy.
Yeah, I don't know.
P
There
was,
we go.
P, whose voice was that? We used to do that, yeah?
Little buddy?
Yeah, hey, little buddy.
I don't know the actor's name.
Pauly Shore?
It could have been him, but that was the other guy. He got like sandy blonde hair.
My man, that used to be
I think he was
Chris
on
Farley.
yep, exactly.
David Spade.
They don't always move.
Got a question for y'all, man. Yeah. You ready for the question, P? Where them fans at?
Oh, man.
What they got?
Boots on the ground, bro. That's crazy. Like, you know
where
what I mean?
Where the fans? Hey, bro, I swear, while we speaking on that, I don't know where they pull these fans out at the party. Everybody got a fan, but I never seen nobody go back to the seat to get it. And they don't know I'm about to play it. So it's almost like it's a sword that just come out of flap. Oh.
I gotta hear my phone.
I got my boots on. He was looking for them notes the whole time, good fathers.
No, they here, but like I said, you gotta. Yeah. I share a cloud with it, but anyway, he made a statement, y'all. I thought it was pretty profound. It's attached to a different conversation, very similar to understanding why, because he had like he said earlier, he did a party that the person that was there were celebrating, and they were older. They weren't of the normal age, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But the quote is that the most common thing that makes a person stop pursuing their dreams is the birth of a child, because somewhere they stop believing that they would have both, or either could have both. I think it's powerful. Once again, I'm just going to say it again just in case you missed it. The most common thing that makes a person stop pursuing their dreams is the birth of a child, because somewhere they stop believing that they could have both. Mm-hmm. Okay? Glad you got a chance to do an event for that person. I don't know who that person is, but you got a chance to do an event for that person that made it their business to go ahead and complete the task of acquiring their education. Mm-hmm. We often do what you say, what you just said and described in that situation, We believe that one major event in life means that we have to just focus on that. And we tend to lose sight that we are here for a purpose, right? And when we look up and we see certain things happening in our life, we backburn it to the point where we actually run out of eyes after a while to move the things that we're actually talented and gifted at completely off the stove at some point or another. Mm-hmm. And like you said, bro, and it was I don't remember exactly where we were in that conversation for you to make the statement about that. But it's absolutely right. And I wish that we could figure out the remedy to prevent it from happening so often. I know we can't stop everybody from doing it. Some people are just destined to do certain things. But I wish that we could figure it out because you're absolutely right. Like, it's not common what you said as far as that person being able to continue their education and be able to get it at a later point in time in their life. Most people get to a certain point in their life and they accept it. It's like, I'm cool. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's cool. I ain't going back. Who want to start over again? If you knew at the end of starting over again that you was going to be successful, I think more people would try it.
Exactly.
But I think people are fretful of change,
yep.
right? And they don't want to try other things because of the fact of, sometimes they're so busy trying to chase everything they see everybody else doing. It's a situation of FOMO. You know what I mean? They just fear of missing out.
Well, I knew he had. Listen, clap it up for that.
Ain't even mine. That's just a common thing.
Yeah, but I've never heard of FOMO.
Okay, so
word is bound.
Yeah, that's what it be, bro. FOMO.
Right.
People be a fear of missing out. I don't care what you apply that to: education, parties, social life, all these different things. Yeah. People scared to just.
People want to miss it. People are afraid of missing
out.
But people also afraid of. Some people also afraid of putting in the work, like we said earlier today. Some people got a problem with getting started.
Oh my gosh!
But I know me. Once I get started, I got to finish now.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Some people have a problem with getting. Most people have a problem with getting started.
Right.
Everybody wants the best outcomes. Everybody wants the great, I don't care what it is, whether it's a new weight loss situation, you're going to jump on, a new training program. Everybody, you know what I mean? If you told a person right now the difference between you being a millionaire and being where you are right now is you had to get up every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know how many people would complain?
Mm-hmm.
You know how many people would think about, oh my gosh, I got to get up 3 o'clock in the morning before they thought about what they could do with that kind of life-changing situation?
Right.
That's the point that I'm making is most people have a problem with starting. It's not going through the process of it. It's not, the conclusion of what it's going to be at the end of it. They have a hard time starting.
Just period.
Period. That's why I said it's impressive that the person you're talking about decided to go back to school, I'm assuming back to school, to go and finish something that they started.
Right.
It's not a common thing because a lot of times, once again, bro, we're so fixated on the outcome. Mm-hmm. We're so fixated on what it's going to look like at the back end of the situation. And that's the difference. You know what I mean? So we gotta find a way to be able to help people to see the value like that person did that you're talking about, whose party it was. They saw value in it. Because I guarantee you, if they're our age, I'm just assuming, if they're
I think probably was a little older than us.
If they're a little older than us, that means that they have a plan in their mind of saying, you know what? Regardless of where I am in life, I still got other places that I want to be. Still got things I want to accomplish and other things that I want to do. Whether it's just getting the degree. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, whatever it may be. But I applaud them for looking at the situation and saying, you know what? I had a desire to start this. I want to complete it. And a lot of people, once again, the reason why they don't, man, is because, once again, they're so preoccupied with trying to just do everything else everybody else doing. FOMO. Just fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. I like that.
That's all that situation is. You know what I mean?
And I think that even goes with the same thing, like you said, when a person has a child.
Yeah.
Because I talk about people all the time. People always want to be known for stuff. Most of the time it's for something good, whether it's good or parent. But most people want to be known as a good parent.
Yeah.
So anybody that becomes especially mothers.
Talk about that, absolutely.
You know what I mean? They would always want to be known. But when you sit back and pay attention to a lot of dreams that a person had, regardless of what field they're in,
mm-hmm.
a lot of people, this is what they miss is clearly right in their face. A lot of people who reach the level of success that they want, because that's we always create our own measuring sticks of success,
mm-hmm.
whether people see it or not, be having children.
Yeah.
And the children be the same age as their children, and they be the same age as them. They just never stopped.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like in the first episode of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Things happen for you,
mm-hmm.
and you don't stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to believe. So that's why I said the key words in that whole thing is it says somewhere they stop believing
mm-hmm.
that they can have both.
Yeah.
Because it's no book. It's nothing sit there to tell you once I become a parent, I no longer can make music. I no longer can try to be an author.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
A movie star.
Yep.
When you hear all these people talking about, bro, I listened to Big Sean's book, and he talked about how his mom used to be an actress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she knew people like Denzel and all them when they were young.
Yeah.
Because her mom, and he said she kind of stopped because of me, but she really didn't have to. She could have kept trying. But some people just in their mind is saying, I know what it be sometimes too, especially if they're trying to go all in, and let's say they're not getting any financial support from it. So then they feel like they're failing when they can't financially give their children what they want. So they go and settle in life for something that did that, but wasn't fulfilling them.
First off, the opportunity to be a parent should not smother the opportunity for you to be something great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the same thing that you were talking about before, right?
Right, absolutely.
So when you look at a situation, for example, if your children are your why, they're your reason for doing the things that you do, it's okay to have a plan for them that doesn't have to kill your original plans. That doesn't have to do that. And stop using your kids as an excuse for you not applying yourself. See, I don't have a problem with a person that say, yo, I had to remix it a little bit. Yeah. Like the person that you said that wound up going back to school had to remix it a little bit because I had to do this for my child. But to abandon it is totally different. Like you said, bro, who says you can't have both?
Right.
In the grand scheme of all of that, you can't allow that why or the birth of your child because, once again, you had control over that.
Right.
Right? You had more control over bringing that child into the world than to stop doing the thing that's going to make you great in life, right? Or the thing, and I'll rephrase that because you can be a great parent. You can be great. Like, I don't want to change that. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying in the situation as far as like you pursuing the thing that you know is a calling or a specific thing that you're supposed to be doing, we can't do it. I watch people. I'm telling you, bro. They'll sit back and say, I would have did this, that, and the third, but you know what I mean? And I had such and such. No, that's not. I'm sorry. Stop using your children as a reason for you not applying yourself. You can have both. You can have the dope, career or pursue that thing that you think is your calling and your purpose in life and still be an amazing parent. It's not going to be easy, but none of what we talking about acquiring is supposed to be easy.
Just don't sell powder. That's it. As long as you don't sell, coke, you good.
Crazy.
Because that ain't gonna get you far.
I know what y'all thinking.
That ain't gonna get you far at all.
I know what y'all thinking.
What they thinking?
What they thinking, man. He can't. Honest to God, I realize that he cannot help it.
What?
He cannot.
What are you
like
talking
we was
about?
in the middle of a flow and you just said don't sell powder, bro. Like, our audience aren't powder people.
We still
man. They are, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? At the same time.
We don't know.
Right. I don't mean that, y'all. I don't mean y'all powder. Y'all not powder.
I didn't
but
say
they understand when we talk about it.
I didn't say they wouldn't.
You know what I mean? You just said what not
I
to
just
sell.
say
you right.
Well, just not because that's not gonna help you out.
It won't. Anyone.
Yeah, because then that's definitely not your dream.
But you know what's funny?
Because your child gonna see you gone.
Because
if you do that, stop it when you have a kid. Stop that. Don't. You're not Nino. You could be Nino Brown, the character on the New Jack City remake, but you can't be. What you was about to say, man?
Powder and heat. Powder and heat, man. There he is. No, I was getting ready to say even that. You know how many people I that we know, brother. That's how they got into that game.
Yeah.
Because
that wasn't smart.
It wasn't. But what I'm saying is when you feel like you're limited, you treat yourself accordingly like you're limited.
I'm just telling everybody this. They say you are what you eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But truth of the matter, when I eat something, I'm consuming it.
Mm-hmm.
So eating is more, it's just you are what you feed off of, if they said it like that. So you feed your brain, you feed your emotions, you feed everything. The thing that I'm sitting here to say about all of this is most people who believe in stuff that's great believe in God.
No question.
So when you had a child, he wasn't forsaking you. He may use the child for you to go harder at your dream.
Right there.
See, I can reel that back in.
Just go ahead. It was real. It was real.
I still have it. No, the fish is here.
That was a quick. Like, see, I could do a good job. Like
no, that ain't what I said.
Yeah, that's how
I said. See, I can reel that back in.
Yeah, we were watching.
Yeah,
all of us were like, yeah, he's back.
There it is, right there.
You know what I'm saying? This guy, when I told y'all, man, he be like, "Oh, that was me. I heard my voice."
Nah.
I can do
Why
it.
you doing like
I
that
can
though?
do it.
Why you doing?
I can do it. Yeah, yeah.
You said it. No, that was me.
But like you said, E, they may, like, once again, that may be God's plan to give you that child to motivate
that
you
boost.
so that you won't quit. Right?
Listen, I seen an interview a while ago with Kendrick Lamar, and they stated, so they said one word that a person would really actually come with that'll make them better. He was like discipline. Most of us know the difference between right and wrong.
Absolutely.
And whatever we trying to do, if you just follow discipline, it's going to take you exactly where you want to go.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
No question. No question.
So that's why I even like at the job when I talk to people and I tell them, listen, because it's a lot of people who go to work and want to get over. And I'm not saying I have people that do that. I'm just speaking in general. Everybody at some point in their mind will be lying to you if they say they've never thought about saying, I want this to be the easiest day as possible.
Absolutely.
Right? So with that being said, with people saying that's the easiest day, it could be the easiest day as possible, they look for sometimes ways to get over.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But the easiest way to get, the easiest, I'm here to tell you all the easiest and the best way to get over, just do the job. Because the person that gives you a job, they give you a plan. See, most people don't understand that jobs give you 7-hour, 8-hour shifts because it has to have some type of structure and it has to have a schedule.
Absolutely.
We're starting here, we're ending here. But a lot of jobs would love to say, once you finish doing what you're doing, you can go. But it's based upon you getting a repeated salary, and the only way we can honestly justify you getting a repeated salary of the same amount of money is by running it through the true currency, which is time.
Okay.
So that's why a person has to do either 7 hours or 8 hours. But if you go in and hit the quota of what they expect you to do in them 7 or 8 hours, but it only took you 5, who's going to complain?
Nobody's going to complain.
That's why I tell everybody.
That's the easiest way.
Just
going in and do the job.
I
think
but
that's it. Yeah.
Some people have this mind state when I go somewhere and they got rules. I'm not just talking about work. It could be school, work, anywhere. I don't want to follow them. I got to be this rebel. I'm not conforming to them. No. I'm talking about what you're okay with doing. What I mean by what you're okay with doing. Because I'm not telling you to sell your soul for a job. I'm not telling you to be a yes man. What I'm telling you is you agreed to do this. This is your title. If you do that and it take you all day, and you complete it, you'll never have a problem at work.
No, I think to piggyback on that and also touch on what we were talking about a few minutes ago, people have a concept, right, of what they think it's supposed to be. And then when they get there, whether it's a concept, like we said, of being parents, they look at other people who are parents and say, I'm going to be a parent like that. Or they look at a person that's highly successful and say, I'm going to be successful just like that. Most people look for most of these things externally. And so because of the fact that they're looking for these things externally, they don't always get a chance to be able to see what they could actually be. So they start looking for things like how to get over at a job, like you're saying, or somewhere else. And they start to believe that they can't have certain things, like you said earlier with the conversation about believing that they couldn't have both. And you can have an amazing career, you can have an amazing, professional life across the board, and also be a parent and any and all other things that you would like to be. What it requires of you to be able to see is that life is multidimensional, so you have to be as well. You don't have to, like people say all the time, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? I already got multiple baskets. I never was putting them all in one basket anyway. FOMO. We're busy. We're scared to miss out on things. We don't apply ourselves to the things that we need to, because if I pay too much attention to this, I'm scared I'm gonna miss out on that.
It's only FOMO.
You know what I'm saying? If I well, in order for me to be a great parent, I got to make sure I'm focusing on being a parent. Yes, I agree with that. You're stating the obvious.
but you also could be an amazing parent while being a phenomenal fill in the blank with whatever you want to be. You don't have to put one in park to drive the other. It's a little bit different.
Both of them take time.
Yeah.
What it is
and they take effort. And they take dedication.
That's what I'm saying.
And it takes a lot
discipline.
of discipline. It takes a lot of understanding that, yes,
but
it's going to be tough today.
You talk yourself out of it because you're looking for a steady income and you're still allowing somebody to pay you what they feel your worth is.
Yeah.
When if a lot of times the things that we pursue in our dream, we get what we feel we worth. Even think about it, even at sports. Right. When a player hits a certain caliber, he's going to negotiate crazy deals because of the simple fact it's like I know I'm worth that.
Yeah.
Look what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't give a damn. They could be that same athlete, same shape, same size, everything, but decide to continue to work for the city, and they only going to make what they want to give them anyway.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's all about money.
No, you're not.
Because what trumps the money is fulfillment. Because most people that do stuff that they don't want to do, they're not fulfilled. So all I'm saying is the true thing. When I say time, right?
Right.
It's the true currency. We don't know how much we really have. So when we're here, we want when we're here, we want to have the most fulfilling days that we can. But me and you talked about this. How it's hard for a person not to get fully fulfilled, but not trying to be fully fulfilled. You ain't even give it a shot.
Yeah, that's the part.
That's the part that we talk about.
I'm with you.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's the part.
Like for example,
that's the part.
People impatience and not understanding or letting their perception come in so strong and so deep. You know, not this.
Wow.
You know.
Oh my gosh. What are we talking about?
Coming so strong, so deep.
Coming so strong and so deep. It's almost sounding like one of Cuz rhymes, man.
Yeah.
Wow, shout out to B.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So listen, my point I'm saying though, it's just like, not switching subjects but understanding. Raising Canaan. They've introduced Breeze.
Right.
And it's going to be played by Mr. Shameik Moore. Who's known as Shaolin Fantastic on the Get Down, and who also played get an excellent job playing Raekwon the Chef on the Wu-Tang's miniseries.
Absolutely.
Of the Wu-Tang Saga.
Yep, it was dope.
Right?
I liked it.
And he was good at it, right? And he really played that role. People are already downplaying, saying, I don't think he's going to be good at the role. We ain't even... of a character like me and you talked about that we don't even know. We know some efforts and some things about a few lines, and we feel like we know everything about it.
A few lines.
That's all we know about it. A few lines. I'm not talking about the powder and heat. No, I'm not talking about that.
I'm saying he's gonna keep saying a few.
So let me ask you this though, because we were saying, and you said Wood Harris, but I thought about something. Could you really pick a person that you think would have been good to play, other than Shameik Moore, because I think that could play Breeze. Now let's take in mind, right? Most of the people that play these situations, they're 30 years old, 25, but they're playing teenagers or in young 20s, whatever, right? I'm just trying to think what other actor.
Me and you had this conversation. I'm not like invested that way.
No. I get that.
So I would say, to me, there's tiers of actors.
Right.
And so the person would have to be someone, not to be funny, but like, Breeze couldn't have been Michael B. Jordan.
No, absolutely not.
You understand what I'm saying?
No.
Even though you like, wow, could he have been? The sex symbol element of having ghosts when he, Amari Hardwick. Now you got a person like Breeze. It's Michael B. Jordan. He moving around a certain way. Do you bring back? There's certain many ways you could play on a situation like that. So I don't know who the actor would have been. I do know that this person was known for about 11 years. And I felt like when I told you earlier, bro, when we was having the conversation, like even when they introduced Young Ghost and Young Tommy, they're going to, whoever the person is, they're going to have to be strong skin. They're going to have tough skin.
So my point, and I'm saying all of this, I'm really make you understand. You're right. Let them have tough skin.
But I don't know, bro. It didn't matter to me who the person was.
Right. No, and it didn't matter to me. I was just saying if we can think of another person that falls in that level of what I'm saying. But my point is, what I'm about to say with this, I don't think we can. Because at that level, we're starting to meet. This is what I love about. This is what I'm really talking about is the art. We're starting to meet new, pretty much up and coming actors. Like somebody made the statement about Wood Harris.
I made that statement
right?
too.
Yeah. And then, but I'm saying, but then you read it.
Yeah, I understand it.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, think about it. The Wire came out a long time ago.
Okay, that's right.
And even though Wood Harris has played many roles, and we talk about how unsung he is, we got to forget. You know what? People keep forgetting. He was the tough guy on above the rim.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the drug part of it and the good acting part all comes from him being Avon on The Wire, right?
Okay.
In my opinion. That was so much long ago. And when you looked at that role, he was already around, but he was really fully getting introduced to grow him to where he's at now, where everybody believes he would have murdered that role.
Okay.
So at this level of using younger actors that's playing younger roles, we're getting ready to see a new wave of this. Because think about it. When you think about only actors that really come to mind is people that fall, quote unquote, inside the Power universe. Now, like with Shameik Moore.
Okay.
You had Mekhi Curtis, who played Kanan. Michael Rainey Jr., who played Tariq, and we watched him grow all the way up.
Right.
That's what it is. There's no other really, when everybody said they don't think he's going to do a good job, there's no other people that fit. Either you was going to see a Shameik Moore or somebody you never seen, like a Mekhi Curtis.
Right. I agree.
That's what I'm saying. So when I ask the question, it's not like I don't agree with this, but the only reason why I say this is because I know you wasn't that invested. But now that we know that they're using, because like you said, bro, they never said if the person was older, younger, they never said that.
Yeah.
But now that we know that they're more closer in age, I don't even know of an actor that
I mean, you could have probably used a Franklin from Snowfall.
No, that's a good one.
I mean, if I really would have, what I'm trying to say is, if I really sit down and apply my thinking into it, I'm quite sure I could come up with one or two people.
It's just me.
General question. No, I got you.
Bro,
I got you, bro. What I'm saying is and I get what you're saying with all this.
Right.
What I'm saying is there are people, yes, that you could have introduced at it. Like I said, I think at a certain level. My thing with the show is, once again, I think artistically it's great. Tasha Penn obviously done a phenomenal job with the series.
You said Sasha or Tasha?
Sasha Penn. Did a phenomenal job with the series, in my opinion. The character development, the role development, however you want to use it, I think was great. I think we realize, like we talk about a lot of times, bro, not only in the show, but just in life in general, people don't have no patience for certain things to develop. People want to see everything. They want all the answers. I'm telling you, apply it anywhere in life. People don't want to let things develop. It's funny how we're kind of talking about it, because that's the same thing that happens with everything else we were talking about. Once again, FOMO.
Right, but
they're missing out. You know what I mean? They don't want to let things develop.
That's the point.
No, I got you. I knew where you were going with the whole time. But it's
time.
like you said, we had this conversation prior to this, so we already knew where we were tying a bow on things. But in the same token, I think that what we got to remember too, and when I say we, I mean all of us, is that life happens just like it's happening in them shows, in phases, right? Time, like you said, the true riches of things. What are we trading in for time? There's certain things that we see on the show. We look at a certain thing like Rock, like just using that for an example. You know what I mean? People may question her ability to be a great mother, but she's looked at a high regard as being anything, when it comes to something negative in the streets, she's heavily respected. You know what I mean? And if you've seen that the finale or the conclusion of that situation, what you kind of saw was her dealing with that psychologically. Yeah. Of where she felt that on certain things. So it's funny how when you're talking about what you're talking about in regards to that, because once again, you tie them all together. Yeah.
I agree. That was dope.
You know what I mean? So when you see it, you start looking up and start going, oh, wow. You know what I mean? She was so focused on being the best drug dealer in that show that she missed on being a great mother.
Well, they kind of, in my opinion, took that same approach as when she was trying to get out with the stores last season. the same way Ghost was trying to get out. And then even when Kanan at the end was saying everything he was saying, and you look at her reaction in her face, I really just rewatched the whole Power again. When Tariq was doing that same thing, where I respect, I think her name is Patina Howard, or that's her name, Patina.
Okay.
Real Rock, Rock and Real Rock. Whoa.
You was trying too hard to you should have just said Rock,
Yeah,
like I've been
Rock.
saying.
No, that's crazy. No, my bad. But Rock and Ghost, when you see those moments, Jimmy looks scared and concerned. They played those roles.
As a parent, it's another term,
right?
Because you prepare yourself for so many of these outcomes,
right?
Externally,
right?
And then for you to see, damn, I failed them.
Yeah,
it's crushing because as you're like, yo, okay, I always knew I would meet my demise, so to speak, one of these ways. Right. You know what I mean? Did I fail you that bad that you willing to do this to me? Because it's not easy for either person.
Right.
And so that's the part that
you just rather I'm gone.
You just like, yo, or just in general. Like, I'm just saying, like, when you watch it or whatever.
But,
you know what I mean?
What you just said, though, bro, and it still speaks to what I'm saying. You said as a parent, that's something different. But psychologically, how deep they got in the role, because they're really not their parents in real life.
Oh yeah.
Just the acting.
Yeah.
I'm embracing the art of them.
Yeah, they invested it.
Yeah.
They invested.
I like that. I like how they do that.
They first off, you got to remember, bruh, there was no other Ghost but Ghost.
Right.
So you have to become. You have to almost like metamorph into a person that you're not to sell it at some point or another. That's so powerful that you got to believe you are. That's why 50 even said in one of the interviews, he said, yo, he was actually walking around here like he was his son.
Yeah.
Like his mother was there on set and everything.
Right.
Like he was walking around like he was his son. Yo, you got to do this, that, and the third. And I would say like, yo, you're not your real son. Yeah. But that's what happens when you invest.
That's it. Yeah,
that's what happens when you invest.
That's how you get those reactions.
And that's how, not only those reactions, but I'm just saying, when you invest all of you into something, which has kind of been what we've been talking about,
right?
How you invest all
that's
of you into something.
That's what I mean, the magic. That's what it is.
Oh, you said the magic.
I said the reaction.
Oh, the reaction.
But the reaction is part of the magic is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. But that's what happens, right? And so you can tell when a person, they call in the situation, just totally, buy into the character.
Right.
Because you can't imagine nobody else being that character.
Right.
When they do that, it's just like, yo, you know what I mean? That's the same thing, and that's why I believe what you said, bro, is in the minds of a lot of different people, because I know some people who are extraordinary in things, but have never given it a real fighting opportunity and chance.
This is why I'm using a show like Power, because just using again when we segue here, that people were saying that, they don't think Shameik Moore play a good Breeze, and that's just their opinion. And I asked a question who we can name and we can't name. This universe, because this is what they like to call it, the Power universe,
right,
has discovered and helped so many people's careers that a role that big, not saying that they wouldn't pull somebody in that we would be familiar with. Mm-hmm. A role that big, they're going to use somebody who needs that breakthrough.
Oh. Well, I mean, I see.
Because I'm getting back to where to where I'm going. Mm-hmm. So my part that I'm saying that I enjoy about everything and stuff not being as predictable as the people want. You're seeing fresh, hungry people that are invested. You're seeing, bro. My point is this. Everybody wants to hit the outcome at the end.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
We're seeing I'm using these characters and showing people that are invested. We're witnessing their evolution. Nobody on that show is near their peak.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, you got, what's your name? Snap and Pop. I would look at him and say that, the guy in that particular group. Yeah. We've seen him on a lot of stuff, obviously. I get it. And that's just, like, that you like that. That's something that you enjoy in it. Once again, for me, it's the storyline element of it. Like when people were going to get really upset if Unique was Breeze.
I wouldn't have got upset. I just didn't.
I'm just saying. Well, you're saying that's fine.
But some people would.
But my thing is I would say, damn, you did a good job, Sasha, because you really got people who are so invested that. And I was laughing. Remember, I kept telling you, I was like the whole time, like, I would love to be the person who kind of created, because you got a person for 11 years who didn't have a face.
This is what I'm saying.
Right? They only had a history. And it's funny because you know how creative you got to be to have a person exist but didn't exist all at the same time, where you can turn around and do the things that you're doing. So I like the creativity of it. I think we all are artists. I told you before. I think every last one of us on the planet is an artist. I don't know if everybody considers themselves an artist, because I think we all have the ability to see things differently, make things differently, create things differently. That's why I think everybody's an artist. Mm-hmm. But I do think that we look at certain aspects of it, and you can see where certain people really buy into their roles. You go in there and put a serious dedication into the craft.
Because truthfully, in the whole universe, I believe the most established actors, I'm just speaking like, in the conversation, is the one that plays Snap and Lorenz Tate. In the whole universe.
Probably so.
They're the most established like actors when you really look at that.
I think you know how when you it's funny, like you what they'll call them, like B movies. Or you watch something.
Oh yeah. Low budget movies, yeah.
Or stuff you might see on Tubi and all them other things. I'll watch them if the storyline is a good storyline.
Me too.
But once again, I think that, like I said, just talking about what we were talking about before, just even the characters and the roles that they play in those situations, it's so fitting that we started talking about how people don't believe you can have both.
Right.
And I'm circling back to that because it's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Once we cut off shows, stars, that's over. You know what I mean? But it's powerful in real life. Like, I got to watch my daughter graduate Saturday. I didn't finish my college education. Mm-hmm. But I was proud of her, not like it felt like she completed something for me. I was proud of her because she made a decision to continue to stay focused on it. I've never blamed my children, you know what I mean, for me not finishing anything. Never. Never blamed them for me not taking the initiative to do other things in my life. Never used them as an scapegoat to not apply myself. They've always been my responsibility since they came into this world. That's going to be the case forever. But for me not to apply myself, bro, and I put myself as one of those people that you were talking about when you just made the statement to some degree, because I did turn off my imagination. I did turn off my vision, my dream, to pursue doing the things that I needed to do to make sure that my family was good. And it's powerful because it's a lot of people like that. Mm-hmm. And so, like I was saying to you before, one of the things that I would love to accomplish in this particular episode of us having this conversation is speaking to the point of how do we help people? How do we help people see that they can have both? How do we help people see that thing that they may have buried some time ago that they thought wasn't going to be it? Yeah. And so the words that we need to say, what do we, I want a person to walk away from this episode encouraged.
Believe.
Believe.
Okay. Set a plan.
Okay.
Set a plan. See, the thing is with your kid, at the end of the day, we think it's all about finances, right? When in all actuality, they need time too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when they know they you need time, you write a schedule when you can say, okay, I found a job that could fulfill the bills at the house and the life that I want, and still gives me the time to do what I love to do.
Right.
That's a fulfilling life. And I still have time to be with my kids. That's a fulfilling life. And if it's something that becomes lucrative that you're working on, whether it's let's say your dream is to run your own small business. Your kid also sees that side. They see both sides. Mm-hmm. Because we followed the different things. We grew up and had jobs because our parents had jobs. Mm-hmm. But a lot of families, when you see people working on their own business or creating their own legacy, it gets passed down. even if your kid don't want it, they can see how business works. If they choose to say, I'm okay with just the job part, because I seen the frustration.
Yeah. I just want them to get, I just want people.
But I want people to feel fulfilled.
So my thing is this, I agree with that. I want that. I want them to feel fulfilled. But I also want them to get into the routine because remember, bro, a lot of times we talk about this. A lot of things are routine.
Right.
People don't do things as well as they do things based on routine.
Right.
Right? And so a lot of times, once again, people don't have a problem with exercise and people don't have a problem with the results. They have a problem with starting.
Right.
And so it's fitting that we're having this conversation about how we pause certain things in life because we get the introduction of another thing, maybe, like I said, a child, just using that for an example. But we never revisit the thing that we already, had established that we were pursuing in the first place. Mm-hmm. So once again, it's a starting, right? We didn't start. We didn't truthfully start because the moment that we looked at them coming into this world, we put everything on pause. We stopped that. Because we started to be doing what? To become parents. Now, the thing about the difference between that is that your responsibilities force you to stay routine.
Absolutely.
And routine, after a while, becomes your focus. It's your norm. It's the thing that you see, and it's the thing that you do. And so the things that you did before, you no longer even look after them. Like I said, even if it's not career-wise.
It's funny you say that, right?
Not even career-wise, bro. We can do it.
When you sit back, and you look at yourself as a kid, and your imagination is high and it's big.
Right.
You say, I'm gonna do this. Even when people used to play the game MASH back in the day. I'm gonna have a mansion. Such gonna be my wife. I'm gonna have this many kids. Like a little number game. The girls just play it all the time.
I remember something. I forgot the name of it.
MASH. Yeah. It's called MASH.
I'm just telling you, I forgot the name of it. Yeah. I believe
you. Yeah. But they would do that. They was playing it. We 7.
Right.
And we playing it. Ain't it funny how when you get about 35, 36, you say, hey, what you going to, hey, man, what's been up with you, bro? You know, man, I just trying to get through the day. How you stop planning ahead so far like you did as a kid, even though it was a game, because you believe that shit. But as you get older and you fall into that routine, I'm just trying to get through the day. Now, those words are powerful. Yeah. Because if you go through the day not being productive, you just open the gates for a slew of unproductive days because you're just trying to get through the day.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be your most productive self through the day.
Yeah. I told you.
So what it is affirm yourself. Believe in yourself. Set a goal, set a plan, and be disciplined. In that plan, your children are just as important as you. So you're going to say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure I got dinner prepared for me to be able to, because I can set it up for me to cook them at this time, go over my baby homework. Then I'm going to go in here and continue to write on this masterpiece that I got. But Saturday, I'm going to take a break from the book, clear my mind. I'm off from work. I'm taking my baby love to the zoo. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm chilling. I'm working. Tuesday, me and my husband or me and my wife, we going out just to grab we got somebody to sit watch the baby. We just gonna go on Applebee's and grab a few apps after 9 and decompress and have a few drinks. Wednesday I get up. Well, you write it out. Mm-hmm. That's why they tell us in every way you do. Write it plain. Write it out. Mm-hmm. It works.
It works. Yeah.
It works.
And I'm just gonna put this on it, man, before we get into some questions. I'm gonna put this part on it.
Right.
I'm gonna say that most of the time people don't have success because they don't think that the little things matter.
There you go.
So I don't care if every day you took 10 to 15 minutes to be with your thoughts before you introduce your mind to anything dealing with the world. Whether it's to sit down and meditate, pray, write things down, anything. Find a way to find that time, right? Because I hear a lot of people, man, I would love to be able to do this. I can't find the time. I don't believe that.
Right.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that you're looking for it because if somebody gave you a check on the end of that time, you'd find it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. You're not looking for it. You're not prioritizing it. So what I would say to anybody is simple. The little things, that's what add up to the big things.
Right.
It's the little things that you do that you think is insignificant that are the most significant because it reminds you that you are important.
Right.
You come first. I never met a person that dealt with anything financial because, like, my brother knows a lot about the finances and stuff like that as well. And how many times I done heard a person not say, or have I heard a person say, pay yourself first.
Yeah.
That's a common thing. Pay yourself first.
Right.
What do you think? Think about that. If a person who is trying to tell you how to be better with your finances is telling you to pay yourself first, that means that they mean that if you start off with rewarding yourself first, you'll continue to pursue reward. Mm-hmm. We have to stop thinking we have to choose.
Right.
We got to stop thinking that we have to pick this. Well, if I'm going to be a great parent, I can't be a great parent and great at this thing over here. It's not true. That's not true. That's inaccurate. We got to remember that whether or not we know it, they're paying attention to what we do. We're setting, if for no other reason.
Once you become a parent, you're a parent for the rest of your life.
Right. But if for no other reason, because they're watching. If for no other reason, it's because they're watching you and you have to show them that they don't have to do that. Because it's later on when they look at it and say, well, Dad, you're great at this. Why didn't you try to do this? Well, I had you and your sister. Make sure you show them.
Right.
Make sure you find a way, even if it's a little thing. You know, I don't care if it's art. Continue to draw. I don't care if it's cooking. Continue to cook. I don't care if it's writing. Continue to write. You don't have to put a pin and a pause on things because you get another gift in life. You were born with a gift. Stop thinking that you got to choose your gifts.
Wow.
If your child is a gift to you, use the gift that God gave you because he put a gift inside of each and every last one of us that you got to use anyway. Like CJ was saying. That concept of knowing that situation. So stop thinking it needs to be either or. Because it's not about being either or. It's about choosing both and excelling at both. That's my thought on that situation, bro. Mm-hmm. I want to get into some questions if you don't mind.
Welcome to another episode of Questions. Where P's going to ask me a serious question. Series of questions. Let's just get to it.
All right, bro. We're going to get right into the mix of it. They are this and that. To his defense, lately I've not been telling him. For some reason, I have the screen set up, and it always cuts that part out.
Right.
All right, brother. Iced coffee on a snowy day or hot coffee on a heat wave?
Hot coffee. I'm just more of a coffee. I'm drinking hot.
Okay. Sandals with socks or Crocs with going out with a going out outfit?
That just still look crazy. I'm gonna put on Crocs with a going out outfit, man. They gotta be brand new so they look a little clean.
Okay.
You know, most people don't be caring about these Crocs. They be stepping on the side.
I
don't own none.
Nah?
Nah.
I love mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love mine. Easy peasy. Being super sweaty in cold weather or having a cold in hot weather?
Either way you sick. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Either way you sick. You got a cold and hot weather?
You got to fight one of them.
That's the EBGB.
You got to fight one of them, bro. You got to fight one of them. I'm about to say you got to
I'm going to stay sweating with the cold weather.
No.
I'm not going outside.
That's the one you're picking. I'm saying this next question. You got to fight one of them. Battling zombies or vampires?
Zombies. Vampires go up here. They get up here, up in this bitch, and they be looking regular till they get to you and go, and they shit come out. That's how they be.
See, y'all, and he like to talk in the mirror, right? He'll find out his homie.
Zombie.
He'll find out as soon as they standing next to that mirror.
The zombie on the steps.
Oh man, yeah, but
beat
you know
the dog shit.
But he's gone already.
Yeah.
You know, so you know a zombie. He gone already. What you going?
You can still punch his head off.
You're stuck in the elevator with your ex, or their new partner, and their new partner, or with your current partner and their ex.
If I'm standing there with my ex and they boys, hey man, how y'all doing? All right, cool. That's his lady. If I'm standing in,
so you got to pick one.
So if I'm standing in with my lady and her ex is standing right there, hey bro, what's up with you? You all right? It's the same thing to me. I'm not picking nothing, man. It's the same thing to me. It doesn't matter.
I asked him all the good ones, y'all. He loves this game, but then he don't like the like when I drop the real stuff.
It's I don't know. Just put me with my wife and her ex, and you ever gotta pick one. It don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'd rather be with mine. So I don't give a damn about nothing.
E, sounds like you got you made a decision, bro. All right, good. All right.
I don't understand what the ex guy.
Stranded on an island full of fruit or lost in a city full of your favorite animal?
Chilling with the island and the fruit.
You don't need to be in a city with a bunch of dogs, huh?
Only if they all love me.
Yeah, I'm saying they love you, man.
Somebody gonna want to bite somebody.
Yeah, man, but I'm just saying, man.
But if they all love me, they all get along with me, yeah, I'll rock with the dogs.
You got to date one of them. You ready for this? You got to date one of them.
Well, you got to date one of them too then.
Okay.
How about that shit? I want to hear that shit, man.
I'm going to tell you. You got to date one of them. Hey, man, this is what happens when you get to be able to ask the question.
Right,
well, you got to date one of them, man. A clown or a magician, man.
Female magician. Or a female clown, because she going to have that.
Come on, E. Those are the options, dog. A female magician. Pick one. That's what I'm saying.
Might have to go with a clown, man. Because I can see her with a wagon. Magician going to be slim.
Clown with a wagon?
Female clown with a wagon.
What would her clown name be? See, the magician could have been the Great Wagini or something like that. You know what I mean?
I don't see a magician with a wagon because they doing a lot of
what?
I see them more toned.
Okay.
But the clown, because the kids got to jump on their backs and shit. Strong. They gotta be strong.
So kid gotta jump. What's her name, man? What's the clown name, man?
What's the clown?
What's the clown shorty? You saying that? What's her name?
I don't know her name, man.
How you know she got a fatty, but you don't know her name?
I can just see.
See, that's typical. That's why they be saying what they say about it. Oh, you don't know my name, but you know I got a wag. What's her name?
Wagon Wanda, man. That's her name. Man.
That's not a clown name, man.
Wanda the clown with the wagon.
Just call it Wanda the clown, man. Because the kids be Wanda the clown with the wagon.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wanda the clown with a wagon.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Successful blind date with your crush or blind date fail with your celebrity crush.
Successful blind date with a crush. Right? That's what the first one was?
Successful blind date with
I wanted to always
be
successful. I ain't worried about no celebrity crush.
No, that means you didn't fail. It was a good date.
That's what I said. I wanted to always be successful. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if that celebrity and it's going to fail, what was the point?
Yeah. Get married at Disney World or Las Vegas.
I think both of them are good. It depends what you're into. I think
safe question.
I think if a person, it depends what you're into. I think if a person wants a small, intimate wedding, Vegas. If a person wants a wedding with a lot of guests and just random strangers really seeing them what has happened, Disney World. So it all depends if you're a big wedding person or a small wedding person. So to answer my question, when it came to me and my wife, I could have did either one.
Absolutely. No. I agree with you. I think it does depend on what you're into. If you, I can easily see Link. I want to get married at Disney. Mm-hmm. Easily. I can easily see my mom saying, "Let's go on to Vegas." You know what I mean?
Nah, I see my mom going to Disney.
Maybe. You're talking about grown at this point. I don't know if the mouse would still be interesting. Accidentally like your ex's old vacation photo or mistakenly send a heart emoji to your boss.
Not answering that shit, man. I'm not.
A non-answer is an answer.
Yes.
I know what that means.
Dumbass question.
That's not what that means, man.
Well, what you gonna do?
I don't have a boss.
Okay.
So
you had one.
I'd go ahead and send him an emoji. It's cool. It's cool. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't doing none of that shit.
Versus liking my ex's photo on vacation. It all depends who. All it takes is one person to see that you liking the vacation photo there at the beach. So Wanda the clown, she on the beach. That's your girl, ex-girl.
I didn't say I was doing that either. I said I'm not doing neither one though.
What you saying? What?
Liking the pictures or I ain't doing none of that. That's the question I'm not answering.
Yeah, you do that with a lot of them. That's why you scared of them. Yeah,
I ain't scared of shit.
You didn't answer that question. Would you rather have a pet dragon the size of a cat Or a cat the size of a dragon, man.
Pet dragon size of a cat, man. I don't want no cat the size of no dragon.
Anytime they do these,
anything
you
that's
flip anything as big as any of the big stuff.
Yeah, like
I don't care what you call it. I don't want it.
Like
I'll take the little one.
Like the what you said, baby elephant the size of a squirrel.
Or a squirrel. Or a squirrel the size of an elephant. That's crazy,
bruh. Can you imagine? I seen my arch nemesis the other day, man. I was on the phone with you too. I think I was on the phone. I said that goddamn stinking ass snake took my heart. I seen the snake the other day.
I know you was telling me that.
He was like this.
Eat pizza with pineapple on it or cereal with water, man.
I don't eat cereal no more. I ain't had cereal in a long time. It's a treat. So I go with the pineapple piece, the Hawaiian style.
Last one.
What about you? Cereal, pineapple piece? Or what?
I mean, I eat cereal with no milk anyway. I just eat it like.
But you gotta eat it with water.
I eat the pizza with pineapple. I done had that before. Yeah. That's a Hawaiian pizza, minus the pork. Yeah. I'll do that. You know what I mean? All right, last but certainly not least, on this one right here, man, have to sleep hanging upside down like a bat or standing up like a horse.
I'm standing up. Upside down like all the fucking blood rushing to your head. That's stupid,
man. Hey, man, believe it or not, these questions are always easy idea, y'all. He talking about it, you know what I mean? Hey, man, we're out of here, bro.
That was another episode of Questions. Thank you for tuning in for the questions. And this has been episode 203. 203, we're going to clap it up again for right here for the Porch Podcast. Anytime you want to hear us on your favorite podcast streaming sites, you can catch us on all of them. iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Audible. You know, anywhere you hear your favorite podcast, people, they can see us.
You see us each and every week right here on our YouTube channel at the Porch Podcast. Definitely check out, like he said, our social pages, our socials. On Instagram at the Porch 30, Facebook at the Porch Brothers. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, as it helps the channel tremendously. Share this content so that other people can see what you've been enjoying, because I know you've been enjoying it. Go ahead and hit that button, that share button, that like button, and all that stuff. Let's make this thing happen. As we say each and every week, once again, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you. This has been episode 203. Appreciate y'all as always. We see y'all next week, man. Peace, family.
Peace.
Who on the porch? Let's go.